What's going on, brothers and sisters? I want to welcome you guys to Listener Feedback, episode number 50. We are half a century old with this joint right here. But this episode will be starring, of course, Mr. C. Jack. He is written in and called in yet again, and it is greatly appreciated. We also have the OG making an appearance, and I will say his email is very interesting. If you are a soon-to-be developer, or if you're a person that is trying to get into the gaming space, this may grab your attention. But shout out to you, Cody Clark, for the email. I greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all, brothers, for writing and calling in. And we'll be getting into it very, very shortly. But if you, the listener, if you want to be a part of the next listener feedback, you can feel free to email or call the show. You can email the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Or you can call in if you want your voice to be heard. You can call in at 667-284-9057. So without further ado, I want to get started with one of Mr. C. Jack's voicemails. I'm getting ready to pull it up right now, and here we go. Let's go, C. Jack. What you got for us this week?
What's going on, Keon? It's your boy, C. Jack, man. Hope you can hear me better this time, man. You know your boy at work trying to let you know what's good. Oh, damn. Well, my thing, man, I was calling to give you my feedback on, man, these companies are crazy, man. $900 for a 6-year-old system. I'm telling you, Keon, just come over to the PC, man. Just buy a little pieces of your PC and just put it all together, man. We live in a crazy times, man. $900 for a 6-year-old system. This is crazy.
C. Jack said, he said, doggone, if I'm paying some $600. That brother said, come over to PC. Shots fired. Man, I got to agree with you, though, C. Jack. Listen, even a hardcore console gamer like myself, at this price point, $900, $1,000, that's possibly the price of the next Xbox, and I'm going to say the next PlayStation. They're even pricing me out of the market to a certain degree. At $700, like I said on the last show, C. Jack, $700 is even too much for me. I mean, it would be something that if I had to, if I had to, I would do it, but I'd be doggone. It would take a lot. I mean, it would take a lot, C. Jack. And again, like you mentioned, at those prices, man, you may as well go over to PC. Now, I understand that some would say, and it is true, that PC would still be a lot more expensive. I don't know, C. Jack. Let's see how much, since we're talking about the RAM prices and just the chipsets and things just continuing to go up in price more and more. I'm going to look this up, C. Jack, just to see what they say if I'm trying to get something on the PlayStation 5's level on the PC side. Let's see if they can give us a price point, C. Jack, just to see if we can compare the two. How much would a PC cost if I wanted it to be very close or pretty much the specs of a PlayStation 5? Let's see what they got.
If you are looking for a handheld or a PC build that mirrors the PlayStation 5 specs, you are aiming for a very specific performance target. To match a PS5, a system generally needs to hit the following benchmarks. The PS5 performance target.
I'm gonna let this
GPU,
play.
Approximately 10.3 teraflops, RDNA2 architecture. CPU, 8-core AMD Zen 2 at 3.5 gigahertz. RAM, 16 gigabytes GDDR6. Shared system/video memory. Storage speed.
No, it's going too far. I asked it the wrong question. Hold on. Let me do it again. My bad, C-Jack. My bad, audience. Let me reword that. How much would a PC equivalent to the PlayStation 5 cost? I should have said that. That was my bad, y'all.
Building a PC that matches the PlayStation 5 specs in early 2026 generally costs between $950 and $1,200 for all new components. While the PS5 itself retails for significantly less, a PC at this price point typically offers higher frame rates and access to cheaper game sales and no subscription fees for online.
I mean, there's some perks there, but woo! 900. So there it is right there, C-Jack. To your point and to the point of what Jim and I was actually reading off, $950, and you get games for cheaper, and you don't have to pay for an online service. Oh, man, I don't know, brother. Listen, I mean, even though that price point could go up to $1,200, I mean, that's high too. But I'm thinking about it for a person that likes to play online, that wants to get the cheaper games. And me, I'm not really online, C-Jack, so that's not really a factor for me. But for someone else, and the prices of PSN are constantly going up. The prices for Game Pass and Xbox Live, they're constantly going up. I mean, maybe Sharma over at Xbox might have a bit of a solution for that, but until they show it, it's a problem right now. You know, so when you factor in those things, and I understand also on console too, you can get some cheap games. I just picked up, just for context of being able to get cheap games on the PlayStation or the console in general, I picked up Senua's Saga, Doom Eternal, which is the latest Doom, and I picked up another game. Oh, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 on PS5. I got all three of those for less than $75. It was less than $75 for all three. So pretty much for the price of one game, I was able to get three of them. So I wouldn't even say that. I understand that PC does have cheaper game prices, but I wouldn't put it so much to the point where it's just completely obliterating the cost of the games that you can get on sale on the console. But that $950, and you might get some extra frames, you might get a little bit better performance as well. I mean, it said the most critical part of this build is the GPU, which needs to handle 4K upscaling and ray tracing. The NVIDIA, oh man, they talking about you got to get a 4060 Ti. Oh man, how much is that? Well, they already said the build. So, I mean, I don't know, C-Jack. If they keep going at these rates, I'm telling you, it's not just going to be me that's going to slightly start to look at PC as maybe a possibility. I just don't want to go through the stuff that you got to go through on PC, though, C-Jack. I really don't want to, man. The drivers, the updates, and all of the manual stuff you got to do. Maybe you could call in, C-Jack, and let me know what that part of it is like as far as the drivers, and hoping that the games are optimized good enough for PC, and having to, tinker around with the frame rate. See, I just don't want all that, C-Jack. I just want plug and play, my good brother. Plug and play. But at these prices, the thing I would suggest, you know what? For anybody out there that doesn't like these prices, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Doggone GTA 6, darn that game. Don't buy it. All of these other games, Soros that's coming out, or whatever the case, Wolverine that's coming out, don't buy it. That's easy for me to say, though, because I already got a doggone PS5.
Move this man.
Oh, man. I know I'm telling y'all to do something that I don't know if I would do it myself, to be quite honest with y'all. But I'm saying, if you are mad about this and you are outraged, then don't buy it. And I don't say that in a way of being disingenuous. I mean, genuinely, don't go out there and buy this stuff, because the thing is, and we all know this, these companies are in this thing to make money. I don't think it's anything wrong with them making money. They need to make money so that they can continue to stay open and give us these great gaming experiences. I'm never against you making your money. I'm just saying I think that it is a certain way that you can go about making your money. That's the way you don't have to rip off the consumer. Like C-Jack said, this stuff is 6-year-old hardware. 6 years old. We're talking about it is going on a decade-old hardware. Yeah, it's about 4 years away from that, but still, you can't tell me that it costs more to produce a system that is 6 years old today than they did before. And I get the climate and all of that stuff, but that's why I say if this is not something that you're on board with, don't buy it, because PlayStation, Xbox, eventually, if they want to get the sales out there, then they will drop the price. Now, unless you're Nintendo, because God dog, those mother lovers, Nintendo ain't give a doggone. The Wii U was in the tanker. I mean, that thing was in the crapshoot, and they still said you're still gonna pay full price for it. I said, God, Nintendo don't give a doggone. But we understand that Sony and Microsoft are not quite that bad. Nintendo was willing to risk it all with the Wii U. They never, man, did they ever do a price drop? I don't recall. During the Wii U's run, did Nintendo ever drop the price of the console? I'm going to tell you, I don't think they did. I don't think I asked the question.
In a surprising turn for the industry, the price of the PlayStation 5...
Oh, no, it's still talking about the PlayStation. Did the Nintendo Wii U ever get a price drop? Because I don't think it did. Hold on, I'm going to have to type it in. Because, yeah, I mean, those jokers were stubborn when it came down to that. They had no problem keeping the price up there with where it started, even though it was tanking. Let me see. Did it get a price drop? I'm going to tell you, I don't think it did. During it. Oh, it did. It said, yes, the Wii U did receive a price drop, but it was historically modest compared to other Nintendo consoles. Nintendo followed a strategy of simplifying their lineup rather than slashing prices across the board. In September 2013, less than a year after launch, they officially dropped the price of the 32 gig model from $349.99 to $299.99. Well, there you go. Okay, then. Well, look, none of these companies, even Nintendo, are above getting doggone, what's the word? I don't want to say attack because that's a little too much. But they're not above the program. Everybody can get touched, pretty much is all I'm saying. It just depends on how bad they're getting hit. And we know the Wii U had bad numbers. I mean, those numbers were horrible. So if you want to make a change and you want to make sure that, look, PlayStation, they lower the prices of these things, don't buy them. Because Nintendo, if they drop the price, which I didn't even know they dropped it, if they drop the price, then definitely PlayStation will do the same. So, yeah, don't go out there and buy it. But, see, Jack, I really, really appreciated your voicemail. I know you sent me an email as well. Matter of fact, let me get to your email here, brother. Hold on. Let me see what you wrote me. Here we go. I'm pulling up your email now, my brother. Let's see. There you go. See, Jack. Now, the title of his email is, when will it end? Oh, man, the agony. I know, my brother. He says, I can't believe it. PlayStation Pro is going to be almost $1,000. Bro, you can build your own PC for that much. The secret is buy different parts of your computer at a time so you don't spend a whole lot at one time. But that's crazy. If PlayStation Pro is going to charge $900. I can't fathom how much the next one will be. Come on, PlayStation. Y'all have the best games. Please don't let me down. See, Jack, I'm going to tell you, brother, and I've heard that from a few people, that when they're building their PC, they actually buy it in parts. They get the motherboard this time, they get the case. The next time, then they get the memory, maybe the hard drive. It's a piece-by-piece situation. And listen, C-Jack, again, just thinking of it even from that perspective, just piecemealing it until you get the full thing, I don't know, man. It's just a really, really difficult time in gaming all across the board. Everything is getting more expensive. Nintendo is going up on the prices of their games. Who knows, Grand Theft Auto 6, when that releases at $80, we might get a full reset again inside a doggone game. And because of that, man, brother, I'm going to tell you, people are going to want to get the heck up out of there, C-Jack. They ain't going to want to see that coming. People are going to get out the way. Game sales are going to go down. Console sales are going to go down. The industry as a whole, gaming as a whole, is going to continue to take hard hits if this continues to happen, because I truly believe, we already heard the CEO over there at Take-Two already say, when you're paying $70 and $80 for a game, we can't put ads in a game that costs that much. And I understand that 2K is like $70, but when he said that 80, we all figured this guy's talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. Strauss Zelnick, that's his name. So that could definitely just do a hard reset. All right, well, games are now $80. Whew, God, dog. Can y'all imagine in the climate we're in with gas? I just paid $3.85 for gas. And I know some people will be like, depending on where you are, you got a darn deal. I'm paying $5 a gallon. I get it, but all I'm saying is, it's high out here. It is high and hard to live. BG&E here in Baltimore, raising prices crazy. People getting $800,000 light bills. Man, shucks, brother. Having that kind of stuff on your plate, and you want to try to charge these kind of prices for these games and thinking that you can get away with it? Man.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
And you got to be doggone kidding me. Doggone way people are going to go out there and spend this kind of money. I just don't see it happening. That's why I say stay on the sideline. If the PlayStation 6 really does come out in 2027, man, I am purposely standing on the sideline until about 2028, 2029, because I just feel like the PlayStation 5 just has a lot more juice in it. I don't think we've seen that thing max out. I know we've been talking about that for the last two or so weeks. But yeah, I'm not going to be in a rush to go out there and get a PS6, especially if it's $1,000. Now, if it's back down to about $500, $550, maybe even $600, then I could swing that. But when you start going up past $600 and you're going into $700 territory, whew, like I was telling you, C-Jack, man, beads of sweat going to start hitting my forehead, brother, with decisions that I'm going to have to make, But I truly think that, with consoles being the way that they are, if the prices do continue to go up, people are going to go over to PC more and more. And it's going to be a thing where people can kind of justify it. They can be like, look, I can do my taxes on it. You know how people say, people start making up excuses why they should get stuff. You know what? I can do taxes on this thing. If I want to be a content creator, I can get up on the PC and do it, do all of this other stuff. I want to do a podcast. I got a PC. And with a console, I'm just pretty much playing games and watching movies. That may be enough to get some people to say, man, darn this doggone console life. I'm going over to PC. We're seeing the numbers. PC is growing. I'll be being disingenuous if I said anything other than that, C-Jack. PC numbers are growing, my brother. So, man, they just got to watch out, man. That's Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, because Nintendo is about to raise their prices too. We know the Switch 2 is about to go up. Not again, but for the first time. And I just don't see how this is going to become a better situation when it comes down to console gaming. I do have fears. I mean, at the end of the day, this is gaming. This is our favorite hobby. Well, I'll speak for me. It's my favorite hobby. So I do fear, what could happen inside of the industry. I don't want consoles to go away. I don't want any of these companies going out of business. I want the competition to continue to be there, because could you imagine a unregulated Sony with no competition? I think to a certain degree, I think that PlayStation's prices could reflect them knowing that, hey, Microsoft, they're not really in the game. They're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Nintendo, they can't give you the same kind of experiences that we can give you. So we kind of got a little bit of leeway here. You know what? Where y'all going to go? Going to go to Nintendo? You going to go to Xbox? Y'all going to go to us. Y'all are going to come to us here at PlayStation. And because we know we are that nice, we're going to up the price on y'all. And y'all are going to accept it. We're going to make sure that we hike the price 6 years in. Because we can. Why can we? Because y'all love our games. Oh, man. Man, listen, man.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Man, don't fall for that mess. Sony, you can be touched. The PlayStation 5, I'm going to tell you, I don't think the PlayStation 5 at these prices are even going to tie the PlayStation 4. See, Jack, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. The PlayStation 4, let's see how many units did the PlayStation 4 actually sell. Because I can't tell you. I know they topped off at over 100 million for that generation. So let's see how many. Sorry about that. Let me turn that down so y'all don't have to hear this clicking and clacking. How many did they sell, y'all? PS4s sold. I'm going to say they probably topped out at about 120 million. Heck no. They went out at 117 million. Says the PlayStation 4 has sold approximately 117.2 million units worldwide over its lifetime. Man, and the PlayStation 6 is what, maybe about 92 million right now? I don't know. How many PS5s sold? Let's get the numbers to see where they are right now. So they had 90. Woo! They are quite a ways off from the PlayStation 4. So they are at 92.2 million units right now. Man. So they need about what's that, about 25 million units they need to tie with the PlayStation 4? Man, shucks. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Not at these price points. Let me see. It says, hold on. It says the console reached this milestone following a strong 2025 holiday season where Sony shipped roughly 8 million units. While these numbers are impressive, the PS5 is currently trailing slightly behind the PlayStation 4, which had sold about 94.4 million units at this same point. Okay, well, oh wow, they ain't that far off. They're about 200,000 less. Golly, wow. Than where they were with the PS4. Oh. I don't know. That's darn close, y'all. I don't know. They might get there, but no, I doubt it. Because these prices are just going ridiculous. But, we'll see though, C-Jack. The PC is definitely something that I never ever thought I would really consider. And I'm still not quite ready to really consider it, but I get your argument and I get your point. At these prices, this might just be enough for somebody to say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm walking away and I'm going to PC. It's going to be interesting, C-Jack, nonetheless, brother, to see what happens with this whole situation. But let me see. Let me move on, though, C-Jack. I know I got another voicemail from you, and I'm going to play that, but I'll play it after I read off Mr. Cody Clark's email. That says, now this was an interesting email. So the title of this email from Mr. Cody Clark, the OG, is Making Paperwork to Make Games. He says, a bit ago, you had talked to me about a friend of yours that wanted to look into how to take a game idea and pitch it to a studio. TDDR. He says, I recall saying I advised against even trying, mostly due to the state of the industry. Yeah, it's bad right now, Cody. It's tons of layoffs and just stuff is so upside down. He says design documentation are a super useful part of that process. And even if you aren't making a video game, they can be cool and useful tools and be a useful tool. He says there is a fellow named Timothy Kane who has covered these and how they have evolved over the decades. So he gave us a YouTube channel. You know how Mr. Clark does it. Let me see if I can bring it up right here. Let's see. Evolution of design documentation.
It's me, Tim. Today I want to talk about the evolution of design documentation. This actually comes from a question from Noah Stavish, who asked, hey, Tim, can you discuss what you expect out of design and technical documentation, both when you write it and when you review what others have written? Can you also touch on how team-wide expectations for documentation has changed over the past 40 years? What problems and solutions have you faced with these expectations?
All right, so this video is about 15 minutes long. 15 minutes and 27 seconds. And the name of the person's YouTube channel, shout out to him, is at Kane on Games. Kane on Games. So, his name actually, pardon me, his name is Timothy Kane. That's the name of his channel. Definitely check him out. He's talking about a career summary from 1981 to 2023. He has a couple of videos here. Would you play a game that, with a question mark, toxic positivity, evolution of design documentation? I think that's the one that Cody sent us. So guy looks interesting. He has a huge gaming collection behind him as well. Golly, got a lot of stuff. But yeah, Catalyst, team members. So this is something that I'm sure that somebody that may be interested in game design or trying to figure out what they can do to actually get their foot into the door, you definitely might want to check out again. His name is, let me pull that up, Timothy Kane. So check his channel out. I think you would be very, very interested, or not interested, but intrigued by some of the things that he talks about. But let me get back to your email, Cody. Cody says, when I was at EA, I had my eye on a few of these documents for different projects, from Dark Age of Camelot, Ultima Online, Warhammer Online, Star Wars KOTOR, Oh, yeah, that was dope. Etc. Says the doc never ends up matching the finished result. We can't all be Peter Molyneux, man. Peter Molyneux was blowing a lot of smoke back in the day, Cody. You already know that brother right there. Talking about you're going to have trees growing as the game goes on. The game world is going to become an evolution and be something totally different. A seed is going to grow into a tree, man.
Y'all killing me with this.
I said, man, Peter Molyneux, where's all of this stuff, brother? Man, that joker had me going when it came to Fable. But anyway, that's a whole different situation there, Mr. Cody Clark. I'm going to finish with your email. He says, we can't all be Peter Molyneux and make it up as exactly. That brother right there, like Cody said, this dude right here, he was making it up as he was going along. That brother didn't have a plan, seemed like. He was out there selling wolf tickets. But let me continue. He says, and even he only got to do it a few decades before people caught on. He says, bro messed it up for everybody else, man. Peter Molyneux. And he has a new studio, too. Brother got a brand new studio. Oh, man, come on, Cody. Let me finish this up, my brother. He says, if you have an inside a design doc could get you a meeting and some forward momentum. If you are a new kid, you better have a doc and a near perfect spit and polished prototype to show off and still expect to be told to walk. Heck, EA used to have a clause. If you showed them an idea, it belonged to them. Even if they said no, but you got to be bull, man. What kind of Death Row Records kind of situation is this? These jokers was doggone Suge Knight. They said, if you show us your idea, it belongs to us. Wow. Even if they said, no, we don't want it. Man, is that even legal, Cody? God dog. He said, that is what it looked like from my point of view. 13 years ago, he says, I cannot imagine how much more rough it is now. Cody, God dog, that was a heck of an email, brother. Sir. Man, EA was ruthless, brother. Are you kidding me? They had a clause that even if you show, I'm tripping on that. Because what's to stop them from actually taking it and running with it? And now, the person that actually pitched the idea, they don't even get the proceeds. They get no money, no nothing. They just jacked your idea and told you keep it pushing. Dang, Cody, is that legal? Man, that is some, man, that's some Deboism right there. You just bullying people out of their ideas and bullying them out of their possible IP just for a possible yes and a sit down. Yeah, this the industry, and I know, like you said, Cody, you've been out of it for about, 13 years or so. And just looking at the landscape of everything, it's hard out here. I mean, it probably is triple hard than what it was 13 years ago because of so many different things that are happening. So many things to do with the business. Just a lot of layoffs. You got AI that's creeping in the back somewhere, just kind of, popping out every once in a while, just kind of, how can I say it? Just kind of hovering around, It is a very, very interesting time, Cody. Again, though, but for somebody that's trying to get into it, make sure you get those docs, though. And definitely go over there to Timothy Kane's channel. I'm sure he could give you some more insight on what possibly, could be going on, especially in today's time and some of the things that you might have to do. The one thing that I do appreciate about the time that we live in is so much, so many more things are researchable than before. We have the most access I think we've ever had, where if it's anything that you're trying to figure out or trying to find out about, the information is most certainly there. Now, whether or not the intricacies of what actually goes on once you get inside are present, and that's when you might have a bit of a problem. That's when the hands-on situation has to happen, or you have to know somebody that is actually in the know and knows exactly what happens behind the closed doors of these different places. But that is unreal that EA could take your idea at that point in time, even if they said no to your pitch. That's crazy. Cody, man, brother, please continue to keep these emails coming. It's very, very much so appreciated. I really like that you always send over different YouTube channels to check out that has to do with this hobby that we love so much, man. And just giving us a little bit of insight on, what was going on at EA at the time and what it takes to actually even try to even get a meeting with some of these companies. Very, very interesting. Cody, man, and I would love to hear more stories like this, brother. This is interesting. I'm sure the listeners would like to hear more about these. I mean, as much as you can say, Cody, we don't want you to get in trouble, my brother. But as much as you could talk about, I don't know if anybody knew that was how EA was getting down. I'm going to say back in the day. I'm going to say that they've grown now, Cody. They're a different publisher. They love everybody. Man, who the heck am I kidding, man? We know this is business at the end of the day. They probably still are out there doing the same things that they were doing 13 plus years ago behind the scenes. So, and doggone, we know these jokers over at EA don't give a doggone. They just laid off people over there at Battlefield. Battlefield, what is it, 6? Jokers got laid off and they had a successful game going. And that still couldn't save them. God. Stuff is crazy. But man, listen, Cody, as always, brother, I appreciate hearing from you. And hopefully you can shoot us another email next week and we will definitely go over it for sure. But Mr. C. Jack, my man, let me get your voicemail here. And as always, brother, let's have you close out the show.
Hey, Keith, it's just your boy C. Jack doing the call in, man. I had to ask you a question, bro. Man, you brought up a good point about, the consoles being expensive and everything, right? So my question to you is, like you said that maybe Xbox is ahead of the curve with playing their games anywhere. I want to ask you, like, do you really think that Xbox might have seen this coming, and that's why they did saying you can play games anywhere because of the type of prices that will be hiked on the new systems?
Man, C-Jack, I will tell you this, my brother. I will tell you, it's one thing that we can all say about Microsoft or Xbox. Microsoft in particular, they seem to always be ahead of the curve. Sometimes they're just too far ahead of the curve. And it's like, man, why y'all on this already and we still concentrating on this over here? That thing y'all talking about isn't even a factor right now. Most people can't even do what you're saying that they can do with this new thing. Slow down. We're not even there yet. I mean, we saw it with the original Xbox, C-Jack, where they had the Ethernet port. And, of course, the Dreamcast, they had the dial-up. And so did PlayStation when they had that add-on that you could add on to play, SOCOM. Playing SOCOM online, it was dial-up. Xbox was like, nah, Ethernet. That's what we want. And it's like, man, that thing ain't even available everywhere. What the world are y'all doing? So they had that. They had the achievements, which PlayStation did not have at the time. I don't think people give Xbox their credit. They doggone made the achievement system. They made Sony have to get in there and do their own version of achievements, which of course they copped it and said, well, these are trophies. So nah, man, Xbox, Microsoft, they have always done things that have really stood out, even their online service. I mean, we know that Dreamcast, they had the blueprint, but Xbox took it to a whole different level with Xbox Live, with the chat, the voice chat, all of that stuff. Man, they've done some amazing things, doggone it. They really have. Xbox has done some amazing things for gaming. I just think sometimes we forget because they mess up so doggone much. But to answer your question, C-Jack, I would say, man, who the world knows? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that they said, look, man, we're going to try to get on board with this cloud gaming situation. That way, you don't need the console. You can just have a controller, a Bluetooth controller. It'll play through your TV. Because remember, Microsoft or Xbox, they have it where it's on your Samsung TV. I have it on mine literally right now. On my Samsung TV, I have the Xbox Game Pass app that's on there. All I got to do is just get a Bluetooth control. Well, I guess the PS5 could technically work, but that's just gaming blasphemy. I ain't no doggone way I'm going to play. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's blasphemy so much now, C-Jack. I got doggone Doom. And I got doggone H-Blade 2 Senua's Saga, and both of those are doggone Xbox.
Move this man!
Yeah, I might have broke the cardinal game and sin, for myself there, C-Jack. I might have definitely went against what I should have because I got Xbox games and I'm playing them on the PlayStation right now, brother. Well, I haven't started up Senua's Saga, but I'm just saying, man, it's possible. It's possible they could have seen something coming. Just the fact that it's out there, and I know it's not perfect. It doesn't really work with everything. Nothing is ever gonna beat I would say an experience coming straight from your console, or for you, C-Jack, something that's built in, that's coming straight from your PC. You got lag issues that are going on when it comes down to the cloud. Maybe sometimes syncing issues with the controller. It might be some lag. It's still a thing that's still in the air that I'm sure is going to need some refining. But again, just the fact that they have the architecture, right now, they have it kind of built out to a certain degree. Man, this could be big for them. It could be, especially if these next generation consoles are $1,000. And Xbox says, hey, instead of y'all buying the $1,000 thing, listen, I know it's not going to be a 1-to-1. Your resolution is going to be lower. Your frame rate, I don't know, it could be thrown off depending on your internet. Everything is going to depend on your internet. Your internet. But if you want to take I'm not going to say a chance, but what am I trying to say, C-Jack? Shoot, I guess so. If you want to take the chance, we have this other service that you can pay for. This called Xbox, xCloud, and you can play your games over there. Next generation titles, the whole nine. I'm going to tell you, man, it could be very, very interesting. I've been counting Xbox out this whole generation. And check this, C-Jack. It's just hit my mind, brother. All of you listening, I really appreciate y'all. But this just hit my mind. Do you know Xbox, technically, they actually have the cheapest console right now. They got the Xbox Series S. The Xbox Series S is technically the cheapest current generation hardware on the market. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's $400, but y'all know I don't want to tell you something that's not true. So let me see if I can look it up very quickly. How much is the Xbox Series S? Nah, I don't think I asked it the right question. Let me see. That's just going into some stuff about it being affordable. Let me type it in. How much is the Xbox? I think it's, like I said, I think it's $400. Let's see. Just bringing it up. It's $399. Yeah. The Xbox Series S is currently priced between $399 and $449.99 at major retailers. While this is higher than its original launch price, it remains the most affordable. There it is, most affordable entry point for current generation gaming. That's what I'm saying. This stuff is bananas. I'm thinking. Now, I wouldn't recommend it, C-Jack, but I'm thinking if somebody is determined to get into Grand Theft Auto 6, and that $650 or $600 price point is just way too much for them, then they can get the game on the Xbox Series S for $400. That is a savings of $200. You're saving $200, CJ. I'm gonna tell you, it's stuff like this, and the moves that have been being made by Asher Sharma, them having the showcase coming up on the 7th. Gears of War E-Day is gonna be there. They've had a lot of games coming out this year. They're ranked number 5 right now when it comes to the best Metacritic scores. They're beating Sony. Sony is at 21st place when it comes to that. I'm like, God, dog, I don't know. I like what they're doing over at Xbox right now. I really, really do. And when you talk about people that just have to have GTA 6, they gotta have it. And you have the parent that, because the holidays are coming up, it's going to come out, November? So Christmas is the following month. You're going to have some parents, understand some kids are going to want the PlayStation 5, but the average parent is going to be like, well, wait a minute. Whoa. What's up with that $400 system? Is it on that? Yeah, that's the Xbox Series. Man, give me that. Give me that. They wanted Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, hopefully these parents ain't buying. Oh, shucks. Hopefully they ain't buying the GTA 6 for some 12 and 13-year-olds. I would hope that in this day and age, they would know better. But some parents don't give a doggone. So I'm just saying that even if it's not the parents, let's say you have you got a spouse. And you saying, man, I just want that Grand Theft Auto 6. If you can get it cheaper at $400 and you don't know any better, man, give me the doggone Series S. Get Grand Theft Auto 6 on there. I'm telling you, this is going to be very, very interesting. I can't count them out right now, C-Jack. I can't 100% count them out because there's going to be somebody out there that's going to want to save that $200. And if they can save the $200 and put that extra money that they would have spent on the PlayStation 5, and they could put that extra $80, to the console with taxes and all of that stuff, and probably come out somewhere around a little over $500, still saving, which means that they made out better anyway. And if they throw Game Pass in there, 30-day trial of Game Pass, and you get all of these games for free with it, man, shucks, I don't know, C-Jack. This could be a different ball game because we know the casuals are the ones that really run this hobby. Yeah, the hardcore, we're the ones that spend the money. We're going to be there day one. We're going to be buying the games, all of that stuff. But we know that we are very much so outnumbered when it comes down to casuals versus the hardcore. So a casual person just wanting to play Grand Theft Auto 6 and $400 is the cheapest price point. Man, give me that doggone Series S. It's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be crazy. I am very, very, man, let me ask y'all, you know what? I mean, this isn't the regular show, but still, I'm curious to know, man, do y'all think that the Series S, that might be an official question this week. That I think I'm gonna make that the question this week. Y'all just got it, before everybody else is, with the regular show. But I am curious to know, will the Series S actually start selling a whole lot better with the prices of the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, for that matter? Oh, man, I am so interested in knowing what y'all think about that. Could this be a situation where these jokers over at Xbox actually get an upper hand without even trying to get an upper hand?
What you talking about, Roots?
Man, wait, but what I'm saying is, listen, they dropped the price. I mean, they upped the prices because they had to. Okay, that's what they say. I mean, that's what all of these companies are saying. We got to up the price, tariffs, shipping, and all of this stuff. All right, whatever. Can't stand y'all mother lovers for it, but whatever. But we know that Series S, it raised up in price too. But it wasn't a situation where they were actually battling against Sony. Sony upped their prices this much a couple of days ago. And they just so happen to have Xbox that is, slid into the place of being the cheapest current generation option on the market. So the thing that they were actually trying to do from the beginning, which I said, this is crazy, I don't know why the heck y'all would do that, could actually really come back to kind of save them a little bit. The thing that they were trying to do from the beginning, being the cheapest console, I didn't see the vision, but at these prices, oh man, I'm definitely seeing the vision a whole lot better. $400 versus $600, that's a big gap in the market. This is going to be interesting, man. Anyway, C-Jack, that was a good question. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Man, Xbox out here getting doggone angles out here. They getting angles. The cloud angle and the cheapest console of the generation angle as well. This is bananas. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this one, brothers and sisters. Man, again, shout out to Cody Clark. And shout out to the good brother C-Jack for your feedback. I appreciate y'all so much. This is the first time. I was just telling the missus, we have never in the history of listener feedback had this many back-to-back shows ever since I started this thing. So for that, C-Jack and Cody Clark and you, the listeners, I want to truly thank y'all. This is a first. So if y'all want to, keep these going, man, just keep on writing in and calling in because y'all truly fuel this show. So if you want to continue this show going, all you got to do is write in, and you can write in at the analog, email the show at the analog circle podcast at gmail.com. Or if you want your voice to be heard like brother C-Jack, you can call in at 667-284-9057. So we'll definitely, wait a minute. I don't know if we're going to be back at it on Wednesday because my work schedule did get a little mixed up this week, so I'm not on my regular schedule, so we might record it by Thursday. I don't know if it's going to be Wednesday just yet, so it might be a day late, but we're definitely going to have it up before the end of the week 100%. So I'll say until Wednesday or Thursday when we do it again. Until then, you guys get out there, play some games, and enjoy yourself. See y'all on Wednesday or Thursday.